Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Josh and Artemis Show.
Evening, guys. Welcome back. A bit later than usual, as per. We're always a bit late on Wednesdays, but thanks so much for joining us again. So today, Kash Patel has apparently shut down some kind of an internal investigation by other members of the FBI into the Charlie Kirk murder. So we're going to bring you that story. And also Candace Owens. She has called out Kash Patel, as we have done countless times on this show. And also Donald Trump Jr. as well. So we've got a couple of clips to play from her latest show today.
Yeah. Do we have the one from Megyn Kelly?
No. We'll bring that up tomorrow.
Right. Never mind. Stay tuned, guys.
Yeah, stay tuned for that one. But yeah.
Secret preview.
For sure. So yeah, we'll get straight into this for you guys. I know it's late, so we'll get straight into this. So this is coming in from the Daily Mail, but they're sourcing the New York Times. New York Times, of course, is behind a paywall a lot of the time, which is annoying. So yeah, this is the Daily Mail citing the New York Times story about this issue. So Kash Patel shuts down Charlie Kirk foreign intelligence probe into explosive feud with Trump's counter-terror chief. So FBI Director Kash Patel crushed efforts by Tulsi Gabbard, closest advisor to see if a foreign power was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. The head of the National Counterterrorism Center, Joe Kent, analyzed FBI files to determine whether Kirk's alleged killer received assistance from a foreign power. Kent's investigation alarmed Patel, who believed the counter-terror chief was overstepping by interfering with an ongoing FBI investigation, according to the New York Times. Kirk was shot in the throat by a high-powered sniper rifle while speaking to college students at Utah Valley University on September 10th. Tyler Robinson was charged with the murder and now faces the death penalty if found guilty. Well, straight away you can tell us from the Daily Mail because they're basically saying that they know what the gun was, which killed Charlie Kirk, which is up for debate. For sure.
Is.
The Times spoke with supporters of Kent who claim he was doing his job by chasing down any leads to ensure no foreign groups were involved in Kirk's death. After Patel discovered Kent had gone through FBI case material related to Kirk's killing, a tense White House meeting was held to discuss the matter. A roundtable meeting between Patel, Kent, Gabbard, Vice President J.D. Vance, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, and senior DOJ officials was held at the White House. Kent told administration officials that he was granted access to FBI files by a low-ranking agency official. That's some nice pictures there. The White House meeting was so tense that little was accomplished, according to the Times. Trump administration officials were worried that Kent's probe into foreign interference could provide ammunition to Robinson's defense lawyers, who could then argue more than one suspect was involved in Kirk's murder. Yeah, so that's like the gist of it. So basically, there's a group of people within the FBI and Tulsi as well, who are apparently trying to investigate this and conduct their own investigations into this. My prediction is, or my suspicion is, within the FBI, there's probably a lot of them who don't go along with the official story. Yeah. And they're trying to question it. They're trying to work things out. I mean, what's your thoughts? It's an interesting story. It's unconfirmed because it's from unnamed sources. So again, it's trust me, bro, sources at the end of the day. Yeah. But none of this would surprise me if it was true.
Well, based on everything we know about Kash Patel and the way that he operates, it's like he wants to be the only person who can touch the investigation. It's really weird. If you want to get down to what actually happened, wouldn't you want more people looking into this? And maybe everybody sees things differently. So what if somebody else saw some of the evidence and was like, well, wait, have you thought of it this way? And Kash Patel maybe didn't and was like, actually, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we should chase this lead. Mm-hmm. So it's very strange. It's like they want to control the narrative. Interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, and how many times have we talked about Kash Patel on this show now? How we don't trust him.
No.
Looks very shady to me.
He is.
And this kind of ties into what we perceive of Kash Patel and what's happened with this Charlie Kirk investigation, and other things as well, like the Epstein files, for example.
Yeah.
You know, he shut down that investigation quick.
Oh yeah.
And it seems like to me he's trying to shut down this investigation as well. You know, Kash Patel, Donald Trump, all of these people, they want it to be Tyler because it fits into the whole left versus right divide BS, which we're sick and tired of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's a picture of Tulsi Gabbard and Joe Kent there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice sleeves, mate.
I know. I was kind of surprised to see that.
Nice sleeves. Yeah, so there isn't, you know, that's pretty much the story, but it's been going around on X, I guess, and people have been discussing it. Like we said, there's no official confirmation, and there probably won't be, of course, because they're not going to come out and confirm this story. But I think it ties into the stuff we already know anyway. You know, this investigation is very one-sided. Anyone who tries to question it, call things out, question the official story of the FBI, they're called crazy, delusional. They're trying to profit off Charlie Kirk's death, which is completely wrong, of course. We know that.
And immoral.
But this is what we've been dealing with for the past month or so now with this story.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Diane, in the chat.
Yeah. Patel seems to be compromised. Maybe his girlfriend is swaying his opinions.
Yeah, I mean, his girlfriend is apparently an Israeli fucking agent from what I've been reading about it. I don't know how true that is,
man.
but that would not surprise me.
Wouldn't surprise me.
That would not surprise me whatsoever.
The plot thickens, guys. The plot thickens.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
But yeah, thanks so much for your comment, Diane.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And thanks for being for the show as well. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we'll move on. So Candace Owens, I haven't actually seen her show today because I've been at work, but I saw a couple of clips come up. So we'll play you these. I haven't actually seen them as well. I like to react to all of this live with you guys. So Candace Owens just said that she's realized it was a good thing TPUSA didn't invite her to speak at Charlie Kirk's memorial. She said she would have gone torched earth on the official story and called out FBI Director Kash Patel for even showing his face there. Candace said she would die from shame if she were Kash Patel.
Yeah.
She also brings up how strange it is that President Trump randomly talked about Brillin Hollyhan's fourth grade interview with Charlie during his memorial speech. Candace absolutely roasts Kash Patel and says he isn't transparent whatsoever in this investigation. Completely agree. Let's play it.
I've realized something actually and truly. They made, in retrospect, the absolute best decision not inviting me to speak at Charlie's memorial. Like, kudos to whoever made that call, because I would have just been on my best Kanye. I would have jumped on stage and just grabbed the mic from Susie Wiles or someone and said, "Are you kidding me? What is going on here? What is happening?" Even Trump's speech, remember when he just kind of worked in the story about Charlie interviewing a fourth grader and he was referring to Breland Holland? And I'm saying Holland, by the way, because that was his name when Charlie interviewed him, because Trump wasn't there, nothing to do with Trump. When Charlie went on that fourth grader's podcast, his name was Breland Holland, and I was next to him. It was me and Charlie. What a weird story for Trump to just obscurely pluck out of thin air to say on stage at his memorial. He wasn't there. He had nothing to do with him. The kid had some connections and, of course, was really sweet and adorable and in fourth grade and super polite and energetic and was like, "I'd love to interview you." I can't remember who the guy was who was his dad. I got him to interview with us. And all of a sudden, Trump's just saying this story on stage at Charlie's memorial as if he was there. And he wasn't. So what's going on? Regarding Kash Patel showing his face there, I legitimately do not know how these people do it, okay? I would literally die from shame. I would pass away right immediately from shame before I would show up to that event if I was Kash Patel. Like, did they breed it out? Is this a new breed of human that I don't know about? Where you feel nothing, there's just nothing. It's like a Josh Hammer thing. They don't feel any sense of shame at all. And they can just go, 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 go. And pretend that you're honoring. I don't understand it. I truly don't understand it because I have to be a different species from whatever that is. I would melt. I'd rather melt at the floor than show my face, knowing how badly I was dropping the ball. The whole world was dropping the ball. How do you show up to work, Kash Patel? And the answer is he shows up to work and he demands that everybody stop looking into it because he's got it under control. He's got a very small team of people at the FBI that are allowed to touch anything pertaining to the Charlie Kirk case because, this is transparency. Finally, the adults are in charge and it's going to be the most transparent administration ever, except on the Jeffrey Epstein stuff or the Charlie Kirk stuff, who was a friend of the administration. We got to be a little bit opaque on. Real headline, New York Times yesterday.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, talking about the story you just talked about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she's not wrong, of course. I mean, we love this lady. She's fucking great. And she's one of the few people who has the balls to just tell the fucking truth. Mm-hmm. We need 100 more of these. We need 100. We need to make 100 Candace Owens drones, and just get her in just get her on YouTube, get her on X, just calling everything out.
Yeah,
because she's great. But yeah, I mean, what she's saying is correct. I mean, we've talked about this on the show a few times, but since Kash Patel has come in, there's been more secrecy, less transparency, and more lies. Mm-hmm. And they were billed as the most transparent team the FBI have ever had. That was the language all of these people were using before Donald Trump came in. Mm-hmm. And then he employed these group of morons. I mean, this is what they are. They're morons, and they treat us like children.
Yeah.
Don't ask any questions. Don't believe your eyes and ears. Don't question anything. This is just completely insane to me because clearly when you actually look at this case, look at what the FBI have told us, there are so many holes in this story. There are so many things what don't make sense. So many things what don't add up. So many dishonest statements from TPUSA. So many times TPUSA have tried to twist around Charlie Kirk's actual thoughts and opinions and viewpoints on key issues like Israel. It's a fact that he wanted to leave the pro-Israel cause, but they denied it. Yeah.
He was blowing off steam. What are you talking about?
He was blowing off steam. And, they all I've seen from TPUSA is them preaching Charlie Kirk's voice and his viewpoints and his message
all on his social medias, by the way, which is not weird at all, guys.
Yeah, all on his social media, but they've also missed out. He was leaving the pro-Israel cause. They're not promoting that side of it. Mm-hmm. Why not?
It doesn't fit the narrative.
Why aren't they promoting what he actually fought?
Yeah. In Charlie's words, they say for Charlie, but you're not doing things as Charlie would want or as Charlie would do. So for who? Charlie who? Because it's not Charlie Kirk. Charlie nobody. It's all an act.
Of course it's an act.
And that's what's so infuriating.
It is. And Charlie said repeatedly when he was around that, if something in your gut doesn't feel right, you should be questioning it. Mm-hmm. And there's probably millions of people who feel that way about this case.
Yeah.
Millions. And we're all trying to call it out. Yeah, we've got a microscopic channel in comparison with people like Candace Owens, but we'll do our part. We'll show our faces. We're not scared to show our faces and give our thoughts about this because more people need to start calling this stuff out. Mm-hmm. which of course was a lot of who do on X. Of course, we see it all the time, but I just can't believe that, especially with the bullet, for example, that the FBI are telling us it was that specific bullet which killed Charlie Kirk, but it's impossible for that bullet to not go straight through him
and probably, unfortunately, blow his whole head off.
Yeah.
Like, if, again, we've talked about the bullet and everything on the show, like a few weeks ago.
Feels
now,
like forever now. We've been talking.
It does feel like it, but I think it was a few weeks ago now. But and we played a video as well that showed just how powerful a 30-06 bullet is, and how it could literally go through steel, like actual steel. Okay, not Charlie's bones of steel, literal steel. So if it can go through steel, how does it get stopped by human flesh and bone? Like, I'm sorry, but we're brittle compared to actual steel. So it's just even that. So if that's not the bullet, then that's not the weapon. And if that's not the weapon, then that might not be the shooter. And if that's not the shooter, then who is the shooter? And so you can carry on as to these questions that are legitimate and deserve proper answers that we're not getting.
Yeah, and but don't ask any questions. You're a bad person if you ask questions. You're mentally ill. Or as we brought you on the show yesterday, we played you TPUSA's damage control statement they put out following what Candace Owens said, that she declared war on TPSA. They put out this weird 10-minute long damage control statement.
I think it was a clip from the longer show, but but it doesn't matter how long the clip was.
Yeah, but
basically care. Sorry.
Yeah, but the point is that there was a dude on there, Blake, I think he's called.
Yeah.
And he was trying to compare people asking questions about Charlie Kirk's assassination to people having a porn addiction.
Yeah. That's getting a high off of posting and investigating this on social media. That
is literally what he said.
Yeah.
That is literally what he said. In fact, we need to clip that little part from the show and post it, because people need to be reminded of how dumb that statement was.
Mental note, we will do that.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's insulting to the public. Like, it's insulting to anybody who's even a little bit questioning things, a little bit like, oh yeah, that doesn't actually sound right, but I don't know. This is what the FBI is saying. I'm not somebody who's like an influencer or prominent. I'm just looking at it and thinking that is kind of strange. But all of a sudden, I must have some kind of addiction because I'm getting a high off of this. No, maybe we're just curious because we know that we're not being told the truth. We know that they're lying, even micro lies. They're not being truthful. They're going against Charlie's words. And they're still posting on all of his social medias. And when they go live, I don't know how many days a week, it's all on Charlie Kirk stuff. Like, do it on TPUSA. TPUSA has social medias, YouTube, all that stuff. Why use Charlie's? Like, it's at the point where it's getting just a bit like morbid and weird. Like, use the official TPUSA one. Like, it's that simple. There's more and more people who find it strange.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why they're doing it is money.
Money,
and clicks.
Of course.
Money and clicks. That's the only reason. That's the only reason why they're doing this, because they know that without Charlie Kirk's name, they're pretty much nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If Charlie Kirk is forgotten about, TPUSA is nothing anymore.
Yeah,
that's what they're banking on. They're banking on. I mean, even his wife has come out and said, yeah, we've got years of content that we can use, stuff which nobody's seen, stuff we filmed, which, could carry on his words for years to come. So that's clearly the game plan to me. They're going to carry on using his socials, like you've said. They're going to start clipping things up, which we haven't seen. And as we revealed a couple of weeks ago, that, people are already using Charlie Kirk as
making AI videos,
making an
audio.
AI clips of Charlie Kirk to play
Mhm.
at these events.
Yeah,
So the
they did it
audience-
at church,
Yeah.
actually. And it was this very weird message in Charlie Kirk's voice, but it was AI basically saying, you know, I'm with Jesus now. I'm happy. I'm safe. Like, it was so creepy. Like, we didn't hear the audio. It was only played at the church. I don't know if anybody got it recorded, but it was kind of like a message to people there saying, like, I'm safe now. I'm with God. I'm with Jesus. Like, I'm happy. I'm all this stuff. And it's like, so first of all, that's extremely creepy. Second of all, how are we going to know what's real and what's not real when TPUSA are releasing
AI
things that
videos.
people have never seen before? Like, you won't be able to tell, because even if they use like maybe a video of him but change the audio in what he's saying, like I'm not really, I don't know what they plan to do or what they're going to try to get away with, because I know that there's apps and like programs that you can tell when it's AI or not. So I don't know how they would work around that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they have tools that would manipulate the video so that it's not shown that it's AI somehow. So it's very, very, very strange. And to me, if I was in church and they played that, I would be disgusted. Be like, why are you doing this with Charlie's voice? It's not his words. And, you know, I don't know. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. And also very creepy.
It is wrong. It is wrong.
But yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the next tab. Okay, so, Candace Owens again. So Candace Owens has challenged Donald Trump Jr. to put out a video that he believes Charlie Kirk was shot with a 30-06 caliber bullet, which we know, well, we don't know, but in my opinion, he wasn't shot with that bullet. She says it's better to say nothing at all than to criticize those investigating Charlie's murder. Let's play it. Let's play it.
From me to you. It's better to say nothing. Okay. It's better to say, I'm just not going to answer that question. The best way you could honor Charlie Kirk, if you can't fight for him for some reason, is to simply say nothing. Because I looked at this clip and it bothered me for a lot of reasons, Don, because I know who you are. I know who you are. You're a hunter. You love to hunt, Don, right? Every picture of you, you're in the wilderness. Your whole life, you love to be in the wild. In fact, you taught me a lot about the wild and a lot about hunting. And my favorite fishing experience is actually with you, right? Fighting back the sea lions or the seals in British Columbia. You know nature. And I'm not going to ask you to go back against the nature of honoring your father, but I am going to ask you not to lie. And as a hunter, if you are not lying, and this is truly what you believe, you trust the investigation, I'm going to need you to make a video saying that you believe that Charlie was shot by a 30-06 in the neck. And that somehow, through the miracle of God, Charlie's neck stopped a 30-06. Not only stopped a 30-06, but was pretty much in good shape, not even destroyed. His neck was not even destroyed by a 30-06. That kind of a miracle, Don. You know hunting, you know guns, and so I'm asking you if this is truly what you believe, to clarify that matter. Make a video, sit down with me, look me in the eye and say, Candace, I really do think that Charlie, our friend, because you are his friend, you were his brother, stopped a 30-06 with his neck, which stayed intact. You won't say that, Don. You won't say that because it's untrue. And I think that spiritually it would mess with you. And the hunters that are listening know that you don't believe that. You know too much, okay? So again, I'm going to ask you, if you cannot say anything, I understand the ties that bind. I understand Jared and Ivanka and their investments in Israel and the pressure that's coming from the Zionists, to simply be quiet. As his other brothers and sisters and people in the movement, people who don't even know Charlie, get to the bottom of this, because everything we're being sold is absolute BS. That's my request to you, Don.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Well, it's true. He probably wouldn't come out and say that. And as we know, or for those who didn't see, a few weeks ago, Ivanka Trump converted to Judaism. So I don't know what that means, but at the same time, he definitely wouldn't admit it, because then the narrative falls apart. That's it. Like it just falls apart.
Yeah.
If Donald Trump Jr. says that, yeah, I mean the whole thing. But like even earlier, I predict that pretty soon, if people, like, let's say, Trump during his one of his like press conferences or whatever he's doing, and if he gets asked about Charlie Kirk and the investigation, eventually, this is my prediction, he's going to be responding just like he did with the Epstein files, where he's going to be like, what, we're still talking about this guy? We're still, like, you're still asking me about this guy? Look at what I'm doing here. Look at this. Look at that. That's exactly how he responded about the Epstein files. We're still talking about this guy, this hoax. It's like, not a hoax. And yeah, it was one of your promises, actually, when you were running for president, that you would release all the Epstein files and get justice for it. Nothing. Apparently it's a hoax. Where is Ghislaine Maxwell? Like, why is she in prison then? Who did she traffic into who? To no one? To some ghosts? Like, yesterday we're talking about telekinetic powers. Today we're talking about ghosts. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but like, who did she traffic to then? Like, why is she in prison for a crime that apparently was a hoax? So, like, we're not going to get the truth. And eventually, Trump is going to try to brush it off with the Charlie Kirk investigation. Like, we're still talking about this? No, we got it. It was a lefty lunatic. Let's move on. Look at what I'm doing here. Look at this deal that I'm making. Look at this tariffs I'm doing. Like it's going to be whatever. And he's going to brush it off, which is also very sad, because Charlie was like a massive Trump fan and, supported him through both of his terms.
Well, you could
was also a friend.
Yeah, and you could argue that Charlie Kirk was a major reason why he actually won the last election, because he encouraged Donald Trump to go on to TikTok, I think it was, to get loads of young people on board with voting for Donald Trump. So Charlie Kirk was a big factor, in my opinion, of Donald Trump winning the last election. And it feels like, since Charlie Kirk's been killed or publicly executed, Donald Trump's just washed his hands with Charlie Kirk. That's what it looks like to me. Completely washed his hands of it.
We did have that like terrible question when he got asked about Charlie Kirk and how he's feeling, and he responds with talking about the ballroom. It wasn't a good clip of Trump. Like,
I know.
It was not his best, clip moment. But, he's asked about the investigation, how he's feeling, and, about Charlie and his death. And he responds about the ballroom that they're making, and that it's going to be the best ballroom ever. And they're doing construction, and it's going to be, the greatest thing ever. And doesn't even respond about Charlie. Again, at the memorial, the crazy WWE political rally memorial, talking about the things he's doing and everybody else. Like, was it for Charlie, or was it another political statement? Like, it's just really sad, because first of all, Charlie deserved better. And second of all, it's just wrong, and people can see through it. And some people don't want to see through it, but the moment you do, you can't unsee it. So, that's where we're at. You can't unsee it, and we can't unsee it. And so we're going to keep calling it out. It doesn't matter if we have like 5,000 people following or 20 million people following. Everybody needs to be talking about it. You can have one person following. Like, people need to be you know, paying attention
We
to
can't let-
everything that's being put out there.
Yeah, we can't let the story die.
No.
That's the point. And it's great to see Candace Owens as other big kind of shows which are continuing to talk about this. So it's good to see, because if it wasn't for these kind of people, this story would be done with. People would be forgotten. People would forget about it. You know, they would all just be going along with their lives and waiting for Tyler to be convicted of his crimes.
And if he gets the death penalty, like, I don't know. I know that they're going to try to push for that, but I truly don't. Like, you asked me a day after the murder or when they first caught him, like, you watch like that episode, like, we were like, yeah, they got it. Like, what the heck? But then you watch as everything is unfolding, and I truly don't believe that Tyler did it. I really don't. And so if they convict him and they give him the death penalty, you're going to be taking somebody's life who wasn't the murderer. Like,
and anybody with a conscience, you know, whether you're Christian or not, you know, how can you have a conscience and be comfortable with the fact that we might be killing the wrong person here?
Yeah.
There's definitely reasonable doubt in this case to show that Tyler isn't the killer. There's definitely at least reasonable doubt there. And if there's reasonable doubt, then it's still an open investigation.
Yeah.
Right. But the way they're trying to frame this, the way Kash Patel is, you know, apparently he's shutting down internal investigations onto this case because it's going against his official story. You know, he's officially a gatekeeper. That's what Kash Patel is. He's a gatekeeper, you know?
Yeah. And to me, that's just really sad. And just, again, just disgusting. We're being lied to. They're hiding the truth. The more that's being exposed, it doesn't matter. They're doubling down. And to me, it should just be about the truth at the end of the day.
Sure.
At all costs. Truth at all costs. Like, sorry that it doesn't fit a narrative of a lefty lunatic who had a tranny boyfriend who was furry or whatever with engraved bullets. Like, the perfect narrative that you can imagine. Right after Charlie was asked about trans violence, like, how perfectly timed and what a poetic ending. If that's not the truth, it's not the truth. Okay. Like, you just have to accept it. It doesn't matter. Like, we need to know who actually killed him. Will we ever know? Probably not. There'll be suspicions, but I really doubt that the FBI will ever steer from this narrative unless somebody happens to get concrete proof and video evidence that somebody else was there who shot him, that that they caught on video or something, and it was released to the public. Then they'd maybe have to answer to it. But if not, they're going to keep pushing this narrative until people, you know, get tired of asking about it. They don't release it, and then they convict Tyler, and then everybody else just thinks, all right, well, that's it. They got him. You know, we've had comments even on our videos like, what are you talking about? They did get him. It was a lefty lunatic. I'm like, oh my God. Like, you know, I just feel bad sometimes for these people because they're just repeating like the official narrative. But it's like, well, no, did you watch the full video? You know,
no one ever does.
No, like, you know, you take things out of context. They probably watched like some of the video or skipped parts and was like, what are these guys talking about? You know, of course they caught him. Like, what are you talking about? Tyler Robinson is the murderer. Is he? Is he? Like, I don't know. I have doubts. And so if I have doubts, imagine people who actually have all the evidence in their hands. There are doubts. And it's not for sure. So let's not give the death penalty to somebody who may be innocent. Maybe he was doing other shady things, but was he the one who shot Charlie? No, I don't think so.
I don't believe it either. But yeah, we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. A bit later, apologies for that. Every Wednesday, we're going to be a bit later because I finished.
Yeah,
work
I have
late.
to update our bios.
I finished work late on Wednesday, so we literally just got home and I came straight on the stream. So yeah, thanks so much.
I was
for
like
joining us.
frogging through the cars here,
Yeah.
driving, like trying to get us home
Yeah.
as quick as possible.
But yeah, thanks very much, guys. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. Sorry, the
8
usual
p.m.
time, 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Bringing you some more news as to what's been going on. I guess there'll be loads of stuff tomorrow. There always is. So we'll bring you what we think is interesting.
Yeah, always do.
Pretty much, yeah.
But yeah, make sure to like the video, share it out, give us a sub on YouTube and on X. And I will post the links in the description, of course, on YouTube, and the links in this video on X down below in the replies. So yeah, we'll see everybody tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern.
See you tomorrow, guys.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.